G'day chef, how's it going? It's Wednesday the 8th of January in 2025. Just sitting down for a beer with my extremely well-used, what do you guys call this in the States? A beer cozy? We call it a hand warmer in Tasmania and a beer cooler in Queensland. Covered in charcoal and shit from the smoker. But I just wanted to sit down and do a bit of a longer form video and sort of introduce myself a little bit more. I got the smoker running at the moment with me chicken wings and pork and silverside in there, and so thought I'd have a beer, talk some smack, and yeah, let's get into it. So 33-year-old chef, born and raised in Tasmania, which is the smallest and most southern state of Australia. Spent most of my career though, which has been about 15 odd years, a little bit more within hospitality itself, a little over 15 years, and as a chef, 15 years, and done most of that in Queensland, a bit in New Zealand, but all up and down Queensland, from far north Queensland, which is really close to, well, not quite close to the Cape, but if you're looking at the map of Australia, it's that big pointy bit that comes off the top of it. So all the way up to far north Queensland, throughout Brisbane. I've run multiple different styles of restaurants, head chef of a couple of different venues, sous chef, a couple of different venues, and shit kicker all rounder. Started in the dish pit, started from the bottom, and now I'm here running my own food truck, van, trailer, whatever you want to refer to it as, in North Queensland in Townsville, which is on that pointy bit again, but a little bit lower down. I won't bother to edit anything into that, like a map or anything. I'm just going to try and keep all of this as sort of real and fresh as possible. I'm kind of sick of the whole YouTube thing where it's just these cut together things where anybody makes a mistake and they talk like this and I get it. It's what this sort of era of video is. It's what's popular. It's been popular for a while, and like even my shorts and everything, I know everything I'm doing on YouTube is not the norm and not the way to do it, but fuck that, I'm not going to do it like that. I'm going to do what I want to do, going to present myself as well as I can, and we are pretty much just going to be as real as possible. So that's the plan. Excuse the drink, the slurp. I do apologize if that's a tick for you, but I am enjoying myself a beer after a pretty long day. So what we want to do on this channel, I guess, is talk about cookery. If you've seen, there's another video on my channel where I'm talking about the hospitality industry in general. That's probably from about 2 years ago now. Most of my views in that still stand pretty much the same. I sort of break into like talking about what the industry's like and what to expect if you're coming fresh into the industry, and also what you should sort of do to protect yourself from restaurateurs and people who, to be honest, don't actually really care about you as much as they like to make you think they do. They just want you there to work. But anyway, that's a whole other thing. Watch that video. It's a sort of a long form. It's like 40 something minutes. It's a bit more cut together. Did it a while ago, but anyway, worth a watch if you're interested in that. There's a bunch of shorts on my page about that as well, so enjoy that if you want. Don't if you don't. I don't really care. Don't really care what your opinion is on most of any of this, to be fair. If I want it, I will ask you for your opinion, and I'm sure throughout this journey, that is what I will do. I'll ask you guys and we'll talk and we'll communicate. But unwarranted opinions, I couldn't give a fuck. I look at comment sections on YouTube videos all the time. Fair's fair. If that's your opinion and you want to post it, you've got the freedom and the right to do that, but I'm not really going to interact with people who don't have sort of a genuine heart about things when they're coming into it. So that's just who I am, that's how I do things, and that's what I want to do. So 2025, I figured this year, like I've done the YouTube thing a fair bit, the Instagram, all the influencer type bullshit throughout my entire career, and come back and forth on things and gotten followers on some things, and then sort of, I don't know, gotten sick of it and fallen off, just like everybody does. The usual millennial trying to break into the internet celeb sort of bullshit. Celeb, whatever, influencer. And I'll be the first person to say every chef, or I'll be the one to say this now anyway, probably more than, I'm probably not the first to say it, but every chef wants some form of notoriety to a degree. I think it's, I think part of it kind of ingrained into you when you get into cookery. You look at the Gordon Ramsays, Marco Pierre Whites, Anthony Bourdain, all these people who are famous for being chefs, and a lot of chefs, majority of us, I think, we look at that and we think, oh, that's what I want. That's what I want to be. I don't know. I definitely have had those feelings in my life. I don't know if that's what I think is going to come from this, but what I do want to have come from this is just to document my journey running this food van, and answering any sort of queries and questions people have about running a food van or even a restaurant, hospitality business, whatever it may be. I'll give you as much knowledge as I can, talk about my honesty, be honest as possible with you, talk about things I've done, things I've experienced, and what I've learned from it. I'll talk about when I'm tired, when I'm feeling shitty, when I'm depressed, if I'm drinking too much, if I'm smoking too much, all of the things that we do as chefs that we use as coping mechanisms and things like that, and then also relate it to how my business is going, how things are running, what's been going on in general. There's a lot of misconception about the hospitality industry where people don't sort of realize what the reality of the job and the lifestyle is. Currently I'm in a relationship, which is my first proper girlfriend, I suppose, in like 10 years. We've been together maybe 18 months now, I guess, roughly. And even when we got together, I said to her pretty early on, look, this is who I am, this is what I've done my entire adult life. I've been in hospitality for longer than I haven't been in hospitality. So to put that into perspective, even when I was as young as 11, 12 years old, I was selling things at markets and stuff like that. And then after that, I went straight into pretty much the hospitality industry. So plenty of years of experience in it, and it has definitely become part of my personality, part of who I am. I know that's really lame, but that's what chefs do. That's who we are. I look like a typical chef. I'm covered in the tattoos. This one's the wee chef, like bloody the Anthony Bourdain, cook free or die. Covered in all that sort of shit. Look like a chef, act like a chef, live like a chef. Eat, sleep, chef, repeat, I guess, is pretty much how I live my life. You eat one meal a day, you sleep 6 hours a night, you say yes chef, and you fucking repeat that every single day. Go, regimented, blah, blah, blah. So I'm probably telling people this who have no fucking clue what I'm talking about. Possibly I'm talking to people, maybe you've watched this and you've worked in the industry and you agree with me or you don't. All good. But the other thing that I think I trailed off on there was basically, so I've been running the food van about 18 months as well, a bit over that now, roughly similar sort of time as when I got with my partner, I suppose. And so that journey is still pretty new. It's something that I've never done before, is actually do everything from scratch, get it up and running. Never done this before, but I've done plenty of versions of it, and I've watched a lot of people do it over time. One of the great things about working in a lot of different restaurants and a lot of different styles of restaurant, I've worked from greasy spoon, fast food, fine dining, you name it, done the whole boom all the way through. And what that is great for is learning how to do all of these little things and how it works, what the best things to do are, and also seeing what the worst things to do are. Notice how people fuck things up. Don't ignore mistakes that other people make. Learn from their mistakes and apply them to your own experience as well. I've watched restaurateurs cripple themselves financially just through bad decisions, hiring too much equipment out. There's a lot of rent to buy type schemes within the hospitality industry, which some of them can be great and they can help you start out, but you need to be really onto that sort of thing, very wise to how much money you're spending, how much the equipment would cost to buy outright, and if it'll work for you. Don't jump into those sorts of things. But I guess I'm trying not to sort of trail into too many of those avenues. I just want to do a fundamental introduction of everything. So food van, 18 odd months, first time doing this sort of thing myself. I'm doing this completely solo. I did have a business partner at the beginning. We went 50-50. That didn't work out. We'll talk about that as well at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, this is a new adventure, and still a new adventure to me, because it's constantly changing, and something that I think over time will turn into hopefully, I think, something great. But you never know. I think it's like something like 60% of restaurants fail in their first year, or more than that, I don't know. there's a lot of figures that get thrown around. I think there's some myths within that as well, but again, we'll talk about those sorts of things. How the food van's going so far, just quickly within the first 18 months, doing pretty good. About 150,000 in sales in the first year. Well, I think it was 140 something, and on track to do that, if not 200,000, which isn't insane. To be fair, that's not a heap of money, and in fact, if you look at that and then remove the like industry standard of say like 10% profit, that's like $25,000 that I might have gone into my pocket but didn't. That 25 grand went straight back into the business. At the moment, financially, the bank is looking pretty fucking slim. We're starting at the beginning of the year. We've just had a week and a bit, 2 weeks off basically. Where I am serving food is in an industrial estate, so and I'll talk about how I got here as well, but again, things for other videos. Where I am though, just shuts down for pretty much 2 days before Christmas to the second week of January pretty well. It's just dead. So there's no money made, but all of the bills are still paid. So you got to think about that. And on top of it, the first day back, the Monday, the 6th was supposed to be my first day back here. My main fridge had shit itself on the Sunday afternoon. It looked dodgy on the Saturday afternoon, and so I had a bit of a suss of it, but it was staying down enough, but I was a little bit worried. I wasn't 100% sure, so I pulled most of the perishables out, left a few things in there, because that's another thing for fridges and freezers in general, you don't want them to be empty. You want stuff in there. You keep radiating that cold around. It helps them a lot. They work more efficiently when they've got a bit in there than they do when they've got nothing in there at all. So I kept some things in there, came in on the Sunday, it pretty much was like 20 something degrees. 22 I think it was. So we tried to fix that, which what I did was manually defrost the fridge, clean it out completely, and flicked it back on. She dropped down just over 5 degrees. I think it was like 5.1, and then it dropped down a little bit lower than that to 3 something. But then when I came in on Monday morning, it had pushed back up to over 5 degrees. Everything in the fridge that I put in there this time, which was things like drinks and things that can obviously change in temperature and it won't affect it, they just weren't as cold as they needed to be. So I had to shut the fridge off completely, pull the whole thing out, clean all the radiator, everything, or the fins on the radiator, whatever the fuck that's called. I'm not a fridgie. I just used them. Cleaned all that, made sure my airflow through it was really nice. I put in an auxiliary fan at the back of it as well to keep pushing the fridge. It's on the back, it's on the front wall of the van, this fridge, and so it's completely smacked up against a wall. Very little airflow behind it, which is pretty common for kitchens, but also, as I said, North Queensland, it's humid here. It's 42 degrees outside. It's 50 something degrees with humidity in the van most of the days in summer. So it gets very hot, and the fridges don't like it, especially if they don't have any proper airflow. So she shut for the Monday. Now we're on Tuesday, Wednesday, and we've had good days. We've actually just released a new menu, and in that menu I put a little bit of a price bump in it as well. Nothing too crazy, like $1.50 somethings, and that has already shown actually instantly. We're looking at our spend per head. Say for example, my average spend per head on these 2 quieter days, being the start of the year, still very quiet. It's been over $18.50 a head, which, isn't crazy for a restaurant in general, isn't even that wild for a food truck, to be fair. But I also try and keep my prices pretty reasonable. So like $18.50 to $20, you'll get a pretty decent feed from me. That'll probably be pretty much a meal with, say, a burger, chips and drink. So pretty reasonable on the price. But as I said, the bank account is definitely struggling, so we've been taking it easy, slowly getting into the year, and hopefully we'll push up. It almost feels like I'm starting over. When I opened the very, very first day, which I think was 24th of July, 2023, that day, my bank account was literally on zero, and I built it all the way from there, reinvested heaps of money into the van, and other things, and I've been able to survive and live quite a good life overall. So things aren't terrible, but it's not like this isn't some sort of cash cow at the moment anyway, and I'm not running it the way, just because I'm doing it by myself, I'm not running it the way that sort of you see a lot of people who are doing food trucks and vans and events and stuff, and charging a very high premium for that sort of thing. So digressing there, I guess, just to sort of wrap everything together, put a bit of a bow on it, I suppose, we'll be talking about that. We'll talk about the finances of this sort of business, the struggles of being a chef, The sleeplessness of the whole fucking thing, like the hours. I think I've had 6 hours sleep most nights so far this week, and I'm getting fuck all again tonight as well. Let's be fair. Like, I've got stuff in the smoker. I've still got to clean. I've got more prep to do before tomorrow. Stuff that I have to get done tonight as well, and all the cleaning, dishes, etc. It's 7:21 p.m. Probably looking honestly at about a 10 o'clock finish time if we're lucky. If I don't screw around too much, which is another aspect of it. I've been here since 7 o'clock this morning. I've done a full 8-hour shift with no break, serving, cooking, cleaning, etc. So every now and then I do like to sit down and have a beer and just sort of relax myself a little. All these disgusting LED lights have just started coming on, so I've probably tinged to green and grainy. But yeah, finishing her up, we'll do all of those sorts of things. We'll ask me questions if you want to know anything about me, my business, or just the hospitality industry in general. If I can answer them, I will. Don't be a cunt. Too bad, you know, the world's full of them, so don't be another one, because, you know, you don't need another one. So if you don't have anything constructive or coming from a nice, genuine place to talk about, I'm probably not going to interact with it unless, you know, it really piques my interest and I want to be a cunt back, because we all can be as well. I'm a chef, you know, like I know how to dish it out just as well as I can take it. So, you know, be like that, don't be like that. Please don't be like that. Just be genuine, just be a person. And yeah, I'll try and be honest and open, and I mean, to be like, to talk about my relationship as well and how that's going. As I said, 10 years of no relationship, new relationship. It's some fucking minefield to sort of figure this sort of thing out when you've also got a new business to try and run and figure out as well. That takes 80 to 120 plus hours a your week up, but that's just part of it. So yeah, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about figures. We'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, I suppose. So thank you very much for watching this. If you do have anything to say, leave it in the comments. If you don't have anything to say, leave it in your mind. And yeah, enjoy my videos, enjoy the shorts, and hopefully we'll do something cool. Thank you very much, Chef. Enjoy your evening. Cheers.